Shout out to Isaiah Ferreira for your recommendation. I just listened to Shadowbox by Mavi, and oh my god. From the rip, I was very much blown away. I never heard a Mavi song ever, so to have this recommended to me, just thank you. Thank you already. Just thank you. I thought the cover of the album was absolutely sick. 20,000 Leagues kind of made me feel like the opener was a phone call of some sort to someone that Mavi really cared about. I love the strings. This kind of low-key made me feel emotional for some reason, because I was just like, this I'm here for you ass song. It gave me someone that you could lean on, very inviting. That type of demeanor is something that is needed, I think, especially within the rap world. Songs like this are pretty cool to hear, so I already really liked it from the start. The harmonies on Open Waters featuring Malaya gave me chills. I was sitting there with my headphones on and I was thinking to myself, this is what I need. This is the type of shit that I'm into. I thought Mavi had a really pleasant voice to listen to. I thought the feature was absolutely perfect for this song. I don't think my fear scares me as much as my talent. That line is absolutely crazy. It was definitely one of my favorites in terms of the instrumental. I like the churchy vibes going on. It fits with that theme of baptism, as he was mentioning, and cleansing and wanting a refresh. And this track really did feel like a wow, let me take a moment to myself type of situation. Had me bopping from the jump. I love the freaking bass line on this song. The production was really interesting though. It was very different. And I think throughout the album, I realized just how the production is stellar. It's tight as hell. And it really hits to the point where it just, his voice and the things that he was talking about in the album really synced well. I thought it was just a masterpiece, honestly. On I'm So Tired, I read the title and I was like, felt. But I like the fact that his voice changed. I was really into his voice changing on this one. I felt contrast to something like Open Waters, his voice was very gritty. But speaking of contrast, him saying that his grandma turned 80 and then him talking about perks was like, what? Heather was another one of my favorites in terms of the instrumental. There was something kind of wavy going on in the background is the best way that I can describe it. This is very personal, especially with him talking about him taking pills while his mom was in the other room and how his babysitter really came through for him. It gave me a better insight to who Mavi is and what his world looks like and what he's struggling with and what he's dealing with. Something about this really had the energy of an episode of Atlanta. Like it was one of those where we meet some random character that we've never seen before, but somehow their story is something that we obviously need because it's an episode of Atlanta. I was really getting that from this track, so I really enjoyed this one too. At the point where The Sky Is Great came on, I was just thinking to myself, the entire album is full of amazing beats and immaculate production. They pay to see a baby of enslavement do the label dance. I was so mad the song was short though, because I was like, this beat is too good for that. There's a lot of songs on this album that made me feel that way. Like I was very salty. Latch is one of those ones for me. Love the instrumental. And that transition was pretty cool too. But this song reminded me of what it felt like to be hanging out with my cousins at my grandma's house, or as we call her, Baba. He was really going off on this song. I felt like his breath control was amazing and he was flowing like crazy. Definitely one of my favorites. It's very honest in how he's showing off that darker side of himself here. And again, the beat on Grindstone was amazing, but it was way too damn short for me. Oh my god, Drown the Snake. I swear I'm gonna shut up about talking about our inner child on this channel eventually. But I can't right now because this interlude had me screaming on the inside. What was mentioned in the interlude, I felt that because while we do have our inner child that comes with us as we get older, there's also the opposite of that. But that's especially why I'm like, we really got to keep our inner child happy. Like, no matter how many times I say it, I mean it. We all have our darker sides to us, but how we deal with it and how we cope with it is really up to us. Which is why I like that line at the very end where he's asking, well, how do you kill it? Because for some people, it may be easier to completely get rid of that side. And for others, it might not be that simple. Like with things like depression and anxiety. I think this interlude did a really good job because it came off as like a simple conversation. And so for that to be included in the album was very cool. I also like the fact that that transition into the next song was smooth as hell. Drunk Prayer almost left me speechless. Because I kind of have no words. The song is fucking perfect. I was almost listening to this standing up. That's how bad this song had me. The production has kind of an older feeling to it that I was very much into. God had impressed on me the message, scribbled sluggish. I tried my best, repeated yells was all I could muster. Amazing, 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 incredible. The Giver was also another one. These two, I think, along with Latch, were in competition for me as like my favorite song. But Latch was also perfection for me. The piano, I loved this song from the start. Too Much to Zell also. Like these songs back to back, tracklist is crazy, right? Too Much to Zell had an amazing beat. I just loved everything about it. Testimony was also great, very pleasant to listen to. On My Own Way, the line, you made me hate myself and then I paid you for it. Ouch as hell. It kind of reminded me of a good Chance the Rapper song. I thought the beat came in at the right time. Really, really liked the electric guitar that's kind of faintly in the background. And this one felt like a smooth ride out of the album. Overall, I was looking at the credits for the album and Mavi, if I'm saying it right, even if I'm not, what a beautiful name. That is such a pretty name. I genuinely enjoyed myself listening to this all the way through. There is not one song that I could not recommend. I'm really, really happy that this was recommended to me because this is the type of rap that I'm looking for, especially in terms of feeling. This is something that I would play along with Dark Times by Vince Staples, just to have that seamlessness of like really good fucking rap albums just going, but has a chiller vibe to it. I think that would go crazy back to back. I really enjoyed Mavi being very self-aware when it comes to using different substances and things to make himself feel better, especially in terms of his mental health, and how all of that affects his creativity. I just love the philosophical pondering that is this album. It felt to me like you are walking in the park on a very nice autumn day, but yet you like step in some gum or you walk through a spider web, but even though shit happens, you still keep going on your walk because you're still enjoying yourself and there's some sort of light there. The track list is arranged beautifully. His flow is stellar. Lyric-wise, I found this album to be very honest and very poetic. There's so many just lines in this album that are like, wow. It's when like you pair that with this flow, it's all so good. Another thing about this that I really liked was I'm so used to having a heavy beat come in on every single song if it's not there from the start. And this was like a breath of fresh air to me because as much as I love when beats go crazy, it is nice for a change to have the focus be really strongly on the feeling and the lyrics. The entire project made me want to watch more behind the scenes videos of how music is made, whether it's a song or an album for like a lot of different artists, because there were things production-wise going on in this album that had me like, damn, I can't voice this because I don't know like the correct terms or whatever to use. So I'm probably going to do that. But again, thank you for this recommendation because I already know This is an album that I'm going to continue to fall deeply, deeply in love with.